Late night video recording equals audio only, a very rare non-face SwitchForce video. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're doing well out there. We've got some new secret information here that does point to a Nintendo Direct on June 18th. The date may have been spoiled, despite the leakers saying they don't know, despite Nintendo supposedly being undecided. Something very interesting just dropped and happened. A game video went up that was not supposed to go up, and a blog post went up that was not supposed to go up, and both of these were deleted very quickly. Both of them were supposed to go up on June 18th based on the blog post, and both of them are revealing a new Among Us update that says out now. So what this indicates is that Among Us has some new content, but they chose not to drop it at Summer Game Fest. This is very, very suspicious because they had a big spot at Summer Game Fest. Innersloth Games came out there and they talked all about their other ventures, the fact that they're investing in these other companies, but they've got a fresh trailer with a new tracker crewmate, a new noisemaker crewmate, and a new phantom imposter role. It's very odd that this would drop on Wednesday, June 18th, or is that Tuesday? Tuesday, June 18th, which is no date of anything. It is over a week past Summer Game Fest. It's completely a random date, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Innersloth Games were literally on stage at Summer Game Fest with Jeff Keighley, and if they wanted to draw attention to this update, that was the spot to do it. Now, it's very curious why it's being held, but many are starting to suspect that it's because it's featured in a Nintendo Direct. The last time Nintendo had a General Direct, September of 2023, last year, they did feature the fungal map from Among Us, and it was available, I believe, at the end of the Direct. So Nintendo and Among Us clearly have a relationship. Nintendo and Innersloth have worked together before, and maybe the Switch Among Us audience is still thriving, and Nintendo said, hey, we would love something fun, third party to announce. There is a trailer associated with it, and that trailer has since been re-uploaded. People were able to grab it. It is a 90-second trailer, which does seem like a lot of time to devote to just a new little update for Among Us. But if Nintendo believes that this is, very popular and can appeal to a wide variety of player base, maybe they do want to put it into their presentation and buff out the impact of the presentation. Now, the other side of this coin is that why would Nintendo want to feature a 90-second Among Us trailer that's just some new roles? And maybe Innersloth Games was so focused on promoting and lifting up the other companies and games that they're investing in that they did not want to take away from those announcements by also saying, oh, Among Us too. In my guess, in my thought process, that's very damning to the other titles. You're trying to lift up these other indies, but you're like, hey, we have new stuff out now. Everybody's going to focus on the Among Us stuff and not focus on the new side stuff. But they still could have announced this Wednesday. They could have announced this Saturday. They could have announced this Monday. They could have announced it any day, and yet they chose to wait until June 18th. Now, the week of June 18th has been long suspected as a possible Direct date, and we do have some weird stuff going on that week. The 19th is when Moonstone Island comes out, which is bizarre because it's a Wednesday, but it's also Juneteenth, and we don't expect Nintendo to have a Direct on that federal holiday. Nate Drake said that he has a 3-day window of when the Direct is, but he doesn't want to talk about it yet. And I'm suspecting that he's talking about the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Now, because of time zones, it could be, X date in Japan, but then it's X+1 in America. We're not really sure what date specifically could be, especially if he doesn't know which time he has, I guess. And given the strangeness of having a Wednesday holiday, Nintendo may opt for a Tuesday or Thursday. Now, you got Moonstone Island on the 19th. You've got Among Us new rules on the 18th. Maybe these things aren't tied to Nintendo Directs at all. It's very odd that both of them are on separate days, because now at least one of them has to be a completely random update. One of them is not, at least one of them is not tied to the Direct, and perhaps both of them are not tied to the Direct. So I don't think this is certain yet, but it is our best look yet. And we have had a number of instances like this before that have been revealing for Direct dates, like indie games that were supposed to drop, indie games that were, had updates out now. I think the biggest thing is that it says out now, so this is a like shadow drop. Moonstone Island has a set release date, so that can be, I think, written off more as like, well, they just picked that date. It's far enough away from Summer Game Fest. They don't feel like it's going to be impacted. I couldn't tell you why they like that date. But with an out now, that is a conscientious stealth drop. And when you do that, you typically want more buzz. And a Nintendo Direct would be absolutely plenty of buzz. For me personally, I do think the Direct is going to be the 18th, 19th, or 20th. But in a vacuum, I would find it very hard to believe that Nintendo would give Among Us another 90 seconds of their Direct time for something that is relatively smaller. This is not a new map. This is not a humongous sequel. This is new roles. I don't know. I mean, maybe they think that it can generate, like I said, a lot of enthusiasm and tap into a different audience, an audience that they're trying to target here in this year of Nintendo Switch, probably the last year of Nintendo Switch. But I would find it a bit odd to dedicate time unless the Direct is relatively empty. But we believe the Direct is relatively full, but I believe it's relatively full of first-party stuff, and therefore maybe on the third-party front, they don't have a lot. And so that basket is a little bit empty. This Inner Sloth announcement and drop could be exciting and add at least a little bit in the pile of third-party indie, however you want to kind of categorize this. Now, this hasn't gained a ton of traction yet, but I expect that it will now/soon after, not because of my video, but I think people will wake up and start finding this. It's just very bizarre, and I do, like, this is not a leak per se from somebody, so there's more believability here because this is a real thing. This is a blog post that went up and an accidental video post that went up, and it's tied to June 18th. I will say that there's a small chance that maybe they had the blog date wrong, but the fact that they deleted it so quickly tells me that it's not wrong, it's correct, and they just weren't absolutely supposed to publish it now at all. I think this will probably be the best indicator of a Direct that we get. Like, in my opinion, Nate Drake saying, oh, I heard it's this day, Brazil saying, oh, I heard it this day, anybody saying they heard it's this day is less valuable than directly knowing that something is shadow dropping on the 18th, and that doesn't really make a lot of sense. I mean, maybe they're picking a random one. Maybe they're just doing a random, they like Tuesday. I don't know. I will let you know that they did post, well, let's see. I'm looking at Inner Sloth's YouTube channel. I was going to say, did they post a different video today? They did not. So they did not post a different video today. Therefore, oh, well, this was a few days ago. Interesting. So this was a few days ago this was posted, and people are just finding the video re-upload now. They did post 3 days ago all of their Summer Game Fest stuff, because 3 days ago was Summer Game Fest. Huh. That adds even more fuel to the fire that they absolutely were saving this and are saving this for the 18th. Is it tied to the Direct, though? What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if you believe that the Among Us new roles, Noisemaker, Tracker, Phantom, if those are indicative of Direct, or you don't buy it. I'm going to say 51-49. 51 yes, 49 no. That's kind of where I'm at right now. There's so many random drops, and I have been bitten by this bug before. There was one time before, sometime last year or maybe 2 years ago, where I got alerted about an indie game that was stealth dropping on a date that was weird. And so I thought the direct would surely be that date. And then it wasn't. The game just randomly came out. So I am cautious around indie surprise drops because sometimes they do random weird things. But the fact that Among Us has previously been in a direct, I think that's got me a little bit more convinced. But we'll have to wait and see. Is Among Us our secret to Nintendo Direct? Because I don't know that any leaker is gonna spill it out there for us or even has it. But maybe Inner Sloth has it. And if they know, then we know. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.